Next up is Gary Gold and
Momentum Masterclass!
It's time to join Gary Gold with Momentum Masterclass.
Welcome to Momentum Masterclass. I'm Masego Mapanyani, and as always, I'm joined by assistant Springbok coach Gary Gold, who will help us provide solutions for problems posed by players and coaches. Today, we're looking at the new law interpretation. Gary, a lot of coaches need guidance on this one. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, well, there's been 4 new law interpretations that have been brought in 2010 at the beginning of the Super 14, and it's going to apply at schoolboy level as well. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a question from one of the coaches in Durban. And Dion's posed a really interesting question to us about what to do with the law interpretation that surrounds the breakdown, or otherwise known as the chicken wings. So really what it is, it's about the defending player arriving at the breakdown. If he is the tackler and he's off his feet, has absolutely no rights at the breakdown. So what we do is we'll have a little discussion with one of the more renowned referees in the world, and hopefully he can shed some light on the problem and offer some solutions for the high school coaches.
Well, that's great, Gary, so let's take a look at that.
Jono, today I really appreciate you coming down, but we need an expert opinion on this very contentious subject of the breakdown. It's not a new law, we know that. We know it's just a revised law, and that's the law pertaining to the tackler and the role of the tackler. Why don't you just talk us through the scenario quickly? 3 scenarios at the breakdown that you guys are looking to penalise very heavily.
Yeah. Well, look, Gary, first of all, I mean, the object of this was to try and free the game up a little bit, and I think that's a good rationale. A lot of the times defence are dominating, and I think this is one of the mechanisms we can use to aid attack, and to aid attack with confidence. So the first scenario is the tackler who can't anchor himself onto the ball carrier must let go first before he can go back in. The second one is the tackle assist, what we call the tackle assist. So that's not the player around the ankles, it's the player that's helping to bring the other player to ground. Once again, he must release before he goes back in. And lastly is the arrival. So if I'm running with a ball and I run into you and you don't actually help to bring me down, that third man is able to get himself onto the ball as quickly as possible.
Okay. So why don't we have a look at these 3 scenarios, and you can explain them to us in a little bit more detail when we have a look at it. Thanks. Right, a simple situation. Let's have a look and see the role of the tackler. Off we go.
No. First of all, what needs to be known is that a tackle was affected. This is the tackler by definition, because he had at least 1 knee on the ground to start with. He must release the ball carrier, which he hasn't done, and then go back in. And so he'd be liable to penalty as a result of that.
All right, so we've seen the first scenario, which is just a straightforward tackle. Now we're going to see if there's a tackle assist or there's 2 defenders, and see the role of the 2 defenders. Let's have a look-see.
Perfect. Hold there. So in this particular scenario, this person is defined as the tackler because he's on the ground, 1 knee on the ground. This is the ball carrier. He's been tackled. This is the player that we call the tackle assist. He's helped to bring the ball carrier to ground. He is on his feet, but it's not the whole story. He needs to let go first before he can go back in and play it. And so he'd be liable to penalty.
So, Jonathan, can I just ask you in a scenario like this? If I move this guy aside, if the tackle's made, give the ball back to the ball carrier, and he pushes him down in the tackle assist, now he's on the floor, is he now legal and allowed to come in?
If he didn't contribute to the tackle, in other words, if he didn't help to bring the tackler down, then he would be able to attack the ball.
So if he played any role in the tackler going to the floor, he's not entitled to steal the ball?
No.
And if he leaves it alone and has a go?
That's okay. That's good.
Let's have a look at the last scenario. I've got a suggestion for our high school coaches out there, if it hopefully can help them, if there's any doubt at all whether the guy's legal or not. Take a look and tell me what you think about this idea. Why don't you play the ball normally to him, please, again? All right, let's go. Okay, my suggestion there, John, was that if there's any doubt about whether he has or hasn't released, if he hasn't released the tackle player, he won't be able to clap his hands.
100%.
So my suggestion is for high school coaches out there, it's a difficult situation to make happen in a game, but just in a drill situation, when you're doing tackling situations, get back onto your feet, clap your hands quickly, just to show the ref that you've released him. How did that feel?
Oh, good.
Okay. Jonathan, thank you very much for that explanation. I think it's cleared it up for a lot of us, and hopefully for many high school coaches out there who have had any doubts about the law interpretation. I think what you've shown us today is that the tackler or the assisted tackler, if they're involved in the tackle in any way, shape or form, that they have to release the tackle player, get back onto their feet before they can have anything to do with it. Is that fundamentally the most important thing you look at?
Yeah, that's, look, like you said earlier, the law didn't change, just the emphasis changed, and the rationale behind it, like I said, is to try and free up attack and allow teams to attack with confidence to get a more dynamic game going.
Okay, so as it's been explained to us, the defenders have still got their rights. The only thing is that the referees have been instructed, you do need to release the tackle player, and I think all in all it's going to make for a much better spectacle of a game of rugby.
Well, if you want to see some more of that, you can go into our FMB TV link on YouTube, or you can go to our website, fmbclassiclasses.co.za, or you can go to Facebook on our FMB Classic Classes fan page. Next week, we'll be taking a look at part 2 of this new law interpretation, and this time it's going to be at the line-out.
This masterclass was brought to you by Momentum.